What's going on, everybody? It is Wednesday again, and you know what that means. And if you don't, you must be new here. Every Wednesday we are working out together at 7 p.m. EST, so welcome. We're glad to have you today. Today I'm going to be using the core beaded rope, my favorite, so I'm glad I actually get to use this one today. If you are looking for recommendations for this kind of workout, a core beaded rope or the 6mm PVC is really popular. So we're going to get things kicked off as fast as possible, so grab your rope, quick sip of water, and let's get right into this thing. Alright, starting off with 2-foot jumps. It is a classic. Now, if you've never heard of any of these moves, don't worry, we can learn all of these while we go. The 2-foot jumps is the most basic jump. It looks just like this. You keep your hands in close. You're not jumping super high. And for all of these tricks we're doing today, you don't need to jump very high. If you make a mistake today too, you just get right back into it. Yeah, we're going until that red bar at the bottom is done. All of these tricks we're doing for about 30 seconds, except for the really hard ones later. Only 10 seconds left of this one. Check your shoulders too. Make sure your shoulders, you don't want your shoulders coming up too high, right? Because the higher your shoulders are, the higher your hands are, the higher you got to jump. Good job, everyone. Now for all these tricks, right, our shoulders are going to be low, our hands are low. Up next is side to side. It's just like 2-foot jumps, you're just jumping from one side to the other while we go. A couple other things to think about when you're starting your rope. A very common mistake is people will bring their elbows up like this and pull it over. But what you want to do is start with the rope behind you and watch, it's just my hands doing the work, lifting it up and over the top. Just the hands like that. So here we go, side to side. One side to the other. You don't have to jump super far. It doesn't take very much to get this one happening. Side to side. Whew. Another tip for all of these while we're going is to make sure that you're breathing. No matter what trick you're doing, that breathing is going to be important that it's happening. And time. Nice work on the side to side. Oftentimes people ask me what shoes I'm wearing, and I'm on a mat like this. I don't actually need to wear any. 2 jumps and then a stall. This is a new one. We have not done this in our workouts before. You're going to take 2 jumps and then bring your legs apart. Your rope's going to go between, take 2 jumps backwards, and then bring the rope between your legs again. So jump, jump, between the legs. Jump, jump, between the legs. Jump, jump, between the legs. So it goes backwards and forwards. It changes directions. And it can be tricky for your brain because you have to anticipate. Jump, bringing the legs apart. Together, together, apart. Together, together, apart. Together, together, apart. And you slow that rope down so it doesn't hit you between. Oh, yeah. That was a new one. I like that one a lot. All right, quick rest. Coming up next is side swing open. So you're going to bring one hand. You start with the rope behind you like normal. When it comes over, you bring one hand on top of the other like this. Just like as if you're doing the cross, but just with one hand. The rope goes next to you, and then to the front, and then you bring the other hand on top. That is side swing open. We're going to get started in 3, 2, 1. Let's go. So side swing open. And you can do this one as fast or as slow as you feel comfortable. A common mistake I'll see with this one, right, if you see your rope start to go like really sideways, and it starts to spin kind of sideways like this, and it starts to spin on this axis, that's because your hand is either coming too far out like this while you're going, right? Or it's spinning in front of you. You have to make sure you're keeping those rotations happening on that sideways axis. And that's time for that one. But if you're having some trouble, I recommend you keep trying it a little bit longer. Okay, up next is going to be cross step. Cross step, that's where you're going to jump with a straddle like this. And then you cross one leg in front. Straddle, cross the other leg in front. Straddle, cross. Once again, you can do these as slow or as fast. It's not about being fast. It's about just getting to the end of this thing and getting a little better each week. Ooh. Just as my friends were saying recently, it doesn't matter how your body moves, your body just wants to move. All right, good set of cross step. The only reason I like to change it up so much is because we love diversity in our movements and keeping it exciting and just having to think about a new skill every time just makes it feel so much more fun and fast. Up next is jog step. That's where we're just going left, right, left, right. You don't want to kick your feet back so much. Your feet stay in line with your shoulders. This is what I'm talking about. Look, when I go, my feet, they stay directly under me. So, I made a mistake there. But just keep your feet directly under those shoulders as you go. All right, so your knees come up a little bit. And the reason we do it this way is that later we can learn to go much faster, right? If your feet are kicking back, there's a higher risk of making a mistake, and if they're going forward, you're using up too much energy. It goes right underneath your shoulders like this. And that is time. Good job on the jog step. Developing your jog step is the best move to do if you want to learn how to jump rope fast. Up next is backwards. Put the rope in front of you to get things started. You're going to lift it up over your head like this and just jump backward. Now, the number one mistake I see with backward jumps is people's hands. They start to come forward like this in front of them. And that's because they see the rope going towards their face. And so they're trying to accommodate for that, but really, that's going to make it hit your heels. So what you need to do is keep your hands in the same spot they were. For the 2-foot jumps, just trust, don't worry. It'll work the same. Keep your hands back nice and far. Uh-oh, I made another mistake there. I'm gonna hit myself all over. Nice work. We have rest to get ready for the next part here. And see, you can practice every day for 20 years. You'll still get better, and you can get really good, but you will still make mistakes. That's just always going to be part of it. Up next is twister. You can go right to left like this. You're going to jump and point your toes one way, and jump and point your toes the other way, keeping your shoulders square to the front. Just like that. So, 3, 2, 1, let's go. Twisting one way and the other way. Like as you see, my toes are pointing out. Now this one is a very foundational move for a lot of like the shuffling tricks that people are doing now, where they're bringing their heels out like this, right? Just keeping the shoulders square and twisting the hips with the jumps. There's also a lot of other footwork movements that are based on that twisting idea. Twister. And time. That is a fun one. I like that one a lot. The next one we're going to be doing is jumping on one leg. Since we're only doing one leg, you're going to see how fast you're going to burn out. We're only going to do 15 seconds. So pick whatever leg you'd like. I'm going to pick my left leg to start. This is my worst one, just so I can get through it. Whew. Here we go. Remember, you don't need to jump super high, but you might feel like you need to jump higher than you did before since you only have half the power. Here we go. Jumping on one leg. It doesn't really matter what you do with your other leg. I tend to hold mine in front like this. You can kick it around if you'd like. Whatever's going to make this fun and exciting and different for you. 3, 2, 1, time. One of my favorite parts of jump rope is that it can feel fun and exciting and different every single time. Just by little changes, you know? You can get creative with it, get fun with it, do it with music. 3, 2, 1, let's go. We are on the other leg now. 10 more seconds of this one. Oh, check your shoulders, are they coming up? Check your hands, are they making circles that are too big? Could be all of those things. And time. Great job. Moving into our final section here, the 1 minute jump. What's going to happen is we're going to have 1 whole minute and you just got to jump the whole time. It does not matter what moves you do. If you're looking for some ideas, you can try jump straddle. Your feet go together apart, together apart. If you try that one, you can try some ones from earlier like the side swings. All right, side swing open. You can try mixing it up a little bit. You can try the side swing open, but maybe bring your knee up during the side swing, like this. You can try cross step like we did before, but maybe do each jump twice, like strut, strut, cross, cross, strut, strut, cross, cross. You'll feel it. It feels a lot more different. Whew. There's a whole lot of ways that you can mix up all the skills that you already know. One of my other favorite things about jump rope is if you learn 5 tricks, you actually learned like 1,000 because of all the different combinations and the ways that you can change them up. Like how we did jog step earlier. You can mix in jog step with any other move. Whew. And time. Way to go, you jump for a whole minute. That's the hardest part of this workout. And before I leave you, I've got a couple more challenges that I want you to try. Okay, the first skill that I want you to try in today's challenge is going to be folding your rope in half. So you got the top half, both handles in one hand, and then you hold the bottom. And the challenge is to jump over half of a rope. That's the challenge for today. So, a couple different techniques here, right? You can try just jumping over this way. If you found that that was too easy, you can try going backward. You can try going on one leg. Whoop. Well, that's a little bit trickier. And if you just want to get it once, but you're tired from our 1 minute jump look, even that'll do. Like I said, finding all these little challenges and just continuing to challenge yourself with something you haven't done before is what makes jump rope exciting to me. I've been jumping rope for almost 2 decades now, and every single time I jump rope I learn a new trick. And I do that by combining things I already know into new moves, or just by trying something in a different way. I guess that's the same thing twice, but here we go. One more thing that I want to try before we leave is called an arm wrap. Arm wrap, unwrap to the jump. The way that this one works is you're going to bring your rope up over your head and bring one arm to the front. So you'll see it's like a side swing, but I'm sticking out one arm really far. So by doing that across my body, I can wrap it, and then look, I bring it up over to the other side of my body, like a side swing on this side to unwrap it, and then once it's finally unwrapped, I can jump through once again. So one more time, if you're jumping, you stick your arm all the way through to this side, it'll wrap. See how my arm is going across and it's wrapping on that arm. All right, and then I bring it to the other side of my body and I unwrap, 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 and jump. Once you kind of develop where to catch the rope for that wrap, you can try doing just one wrap like this. Right? It's very fast. You wrap twice like that. All sorts of different moves you can do to this one. You could add something with the footwork, right? And then the last thing that you can try with this one is unwrap, hit right into your cross. Yeah, so the rope starts behind you, comes up over your head, wrap it one time, or it's like this, we'll do side swing, wrap it, unwrap, cross. There's a lot of different ways that you can add in the cross with the wrap. All that will come through a lot of fun experimentation, just learning to wrap it like this. You can also use the wrap as a change of directions, right? So if you're jumping over the rope, you put your arm in front, you wrap it on there, and it stalls and it goes backward, and now you're jumping backwards. So if you're putting together a combo, you could be doing all the fun moves that you like, right? A lot of footwork maybe, and then it wraps, stalls, right? Comes backward, and now you're jumping backwards. So that's a whole bunch of foundational moves. Practice them as much as possible because all the more intermediate, all the more advanced moves are just made up of these beginner moves, harder and harder and harder. If you want to learn more of these jump rope moves right now, check out our other live streams. We've had plenty. We've taught under the leg crosses by now. We've taught double unders. We've taught a great variation. So check out all the other courses we've already done. And of course, download the Elite Jumps app. I've got an app with Elite Jumps. We are putting together tracks, and it's not just me. Kyle from Jump 15, he's been doing a great job putting his advice in there. He's got some really unique double under advice that was interesting to me that I haven't heard from anybody else in 20 years of jump rope teaching. So definitely check out the Elite Jumps app and let us know in the comments if you have any more questions. Even if I don't get to it right now, I will for sure go back and answer it later, and if you're watching it after the fact. So thank you all, and I will see you next Wednesday at 7 p.m. EST.